Let's take a look at graphing with the Desmos website. Once you go to the Desmos website, you'll see graphing somewhere on your screen. As websites change, I wouldn't say it'll look exactly like this. Here I'm going to click the Start Graphing. Now this blank here, if let's say I want to graph y is equal to 3x plus 1. I just type in y is equal to 3x plus 1. And that gives me my graph. If I want to type in a new equation, I can do a backspace to get rid of the old one. And let's say I want to graph 2x plus 5y equals 3. So 2x plus 5y equals 3. Now if you need to zoom in or zoom out, you can use your mouse wheel over here. So I put my cursor over here and use my mouse wheel so I can go in and out. I can hold down my left mouse button and change the position of the center or the entire graph. Now let's say I want to graph, do a backspace on those. I want to graph y is equal to x squared minus 3. I'll type in y equals x. To do the squared, you see there's a option here, show keyboard, and I can choose this this right here for the squared, minus 3. To minimize that keyboard, you click this down arrow here, and that hides it, and that gives you that graph. Now let's say I want to just graph y is equal to x to the third plus 1. So I come over here, do y is equal to x, come to my keyboard. Now this a to the b power, this is one for any power. So if I do that button and I choose 3, I'm still up in the exponent. I have to do a right arrow key to get out of the exponent so I can type in my plus 1. If I did not do that, what you would see, oh, it did automatically get out of it. That's interesting. So I wonder how you stay up in the exponent. I'm learning myself on this. Okay. Now, if I want to do some of the other symbols, so y equals, somewhere in the course you will have to work with an absolute value, perhaps. You see there's an absolute value here. So I choose that option. And I can type x minus 3, right arrow to get out of the absolute value, plus 1. If it does not get out of it automatically, right arrow gets you out of whatever you're in. And then I'm going to do my backspace, get rid of that. Let's say I want in the graph the square root. So square root of x plus 4. You see there's a square root option down here. And x plus 4. Again, if I wanted to get it out of the square root, I do my right arrow key. Get down to that point. Now, you notice that there is a functions option here. Let me show that. I'm going to do a backspace to get rid of that. If I click functions, these are some other options that you have. These are trig, these are statistics, and these are some miscellaneous ones. Like let's say I want to graph the cube root. Well, here's the one for the cube root, because you can put any number in that slot right there. That's called your index. So if I come here and I do y equals cube root of x minus 1. So I click that option. It puts my cursor up where the index is, and I can put a 3 there, do my right arrow key, and x minus 1. Remember, to get it out of any particular topic, you have to do your right arrow key. So to get it out of your denominator, to get it out of your index, whatever it is. Now let's say I want to graph a fraction. If I do my y equals, and I come over here and I click my functions, as you look through here, we're just, and I don't have this memorized what's out in here, but I don't see a fraction at all. This kind of looks like a fraction, but that's really calculus. Nothing there, nothing there. I see nothing here. If I simply just type x and then divided by, then it creates a fraction. And so if I'm trying to put like x plus 1 up on top and x minus 2 on the bottom, that's how you can create a fraction. Now, let me delete that. If you're trying to graph inequality into two variables, like y is greater than x plus 1, well, you just simply type it in. Y is greater than x plus 1. And that'll give you your answer. Again, to minimize this, you click this down arrow. The less than or equal to, greater than or equal to are right here, so you can choose those. Of course, your parentheses if you need those. And beyond that, I think the rest is pretty self-explanatory. I'll go ahead and minimize that. And that's graphing using Desmos.